My name is Ros. I'm 17 years old, and I came to Holland in the end of March in 2022 year because of the war. I came from a beautiful city which is placed at the seaside called Mykolaiv.
I'm Alesya Stoyan. I came to Netherlands 6 months ago from Odessa. And in Ukraine, I was working as a makeup artist and hairstylist.
Hello, my name is Sofia. I'm 19 years old and I'm a design student from Kharkiv. And currently I'm staying in Netherlands as a Ukrainian refugee for almost a half a year.
What are you missing for the most?
That's a really hard question. At first, I really miss our weather because Mykolaiv is really, really hot. And the second thing, I really miss my friends. I really miss my family. My father and both of my grandmas are still there, and they are the only people who I need here.
Most of all, I'm missing my son. I miss him very much. He stayed in Ukraine, and I came to Netherlands with two my little daughters. And yes, it's hard when one child is in Ukraine. It's like your heart just become so big, and it is between two countries.
I think the most I miss the stability, the feeling of sureness of the next day, what's going to be in a month, in a year. I think this is what I miss the most. I miss stable people, stable place of work, stable house.
3 things which you would do the first if you would be in Ukraine.
Тяжело. Okay, so at first, I'll pet my dog because my dog is still there. I love her really much. The second one I want to do when I'm back in Ukraine, I'll take a walk around my city because I want to see what's damaged and what's still like staying on their places. And the third one, I'll make an appointment with all of my friends in one time and spend all the night with them.
I was thinking this question many times, and I know that if I would be in Ukraine, I just walking down the streets in Odessa and touching everything like buildings, monuments, trees, just touching them with my hands, just to realize that it is real. I'm at home, and just smell this air. And I would go to some nice place to have a cup of coffee.
The first picture that comes to my mind is kissing the ground, traveling all over the country to see every common place where I grew up, where I spent my best days, and just see everything. And of course I hope to see it as it was half a year ago, but perhaps it's not. Yes, of course, to visit every friend, every relative I have, to hug them, to touch them, to remind myself that they're physical in their life and they're still there. Yes, and I think coming back to my university, I really miss it. I miss the work with my group, sitting in the classes and lectures, this building, beautiful building there.
What does in Netherlands remind you about Ukraine?
I guess the first thing is water, because Holland and Netherlands at all are built on the water, the same as my city, Mykolaiv. We have 2 rivers there, 2 really huge rivers. And all of my life, my childhood, in my teenager years, I was seeing the water, and here the same. So every day I can just come more close to water and feel the vibe of my home.
Sunflowers. When I saw them for the first time in the store here in Netherlands, I just opened my mouth and just it's really remind me about Ukraine, and my husband bought them for me.
But what I feel the most is the place where we live now, the Mermin. It is like a dormitory which I used to live as a student in Kharkiv. The early morning, everyone is sleeping and you're getting ready for work. Silent halls, you're carrying the plate of food, you're cold, and the smell of someone is frying eggs in a kitchen, boiling the tea, and all these sounds really remind me of that mornings.
Describe your first day of the war.
Okay, so on the first day of the war, the 24th of February, I'm waking up like at midday. I haven't heard the first bombs falling. But when I waking up, the first message I saw in my messenger was like, that's a war. I was like, at first moment, I haven't believed, but then I turned on my TV, I saw the news, and I realized that war is right now in my country, coming to my house, coming to my city, to my family, and I was really shocked, because I couldn't believe that in the 21st century, the real war can actually touch your life. That was panic, yes. And in the first day, in the first hour waking up, I've brought everything we need in the basement. I brought blankets, I've brought some food, water. So our basement was fully equipped for a few days to sit there.
First day, I think I would remember that day for all my life. Yes, I heard that those two bombs early in the morning, but I didn't understand for that moment what is going on, and I just woke up and then fall asleep again. And then in a few hours my mother called me and say, Alesya, it's a war. We just start to watch news and get information about that, and it was hard to realize that it is true. And I had a big wish to tell all people from Russia whom I know, to my colleague, to my students, that it is a war and not the thing they are hear from their television. It was so important for me just to let them know the truth.
I couldn't believe it. Just the first few days, I could not realize anything. I was in a state that, okay, I'm fall asleep, I'll wake up, it's not real, it's not real. It sounds like something dramatic or like in a movie, but it really what I felt. First days, you just wake up and you need to once again realize what's going on, accept it. Of course, fear, but I was so stressed I couldn't even cry. I was always ready to do something, ready to run, ready to carry the things, to face troubles. Yes.
Your biggest hope and wish for this moment?
Of course, the first one and the wish I'm thinking about almost every night, every day, is just to see my family, and that's it. I really miss my father, I really miss my grandma, and also I really miss my pets. I have a dog and a cat in Ukraine, so I just want to see them.
My biggest hope is there are no weapons in the world.
I wish to turn back time for half a year back. Of course I wish, but I know that it is not possible. But I hope and I believe and I also wish that everyone will be safe for now, and it will just stop as soon as possible until it did not get too far with all the nuclear stations, all the electrical stations. So yeah, I hope everyone will have a good winter this year in Ukraine.